Okay. Okay. Can you all just unmute and say, turn on the video and say hi? I want to see everybody. Turn on the videos. Hello. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste, Master.
Hi, Jan.
Namaste, Master.
Namaste, Vijayalakshmi ji. Hello, Dekita. Harsha ji. Namaste, Riya ji. Yeah. Hello, Padma ji. Namaste. So nice.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste. Hello, Ravindra ji. Okay. Thank you for turning on the video. Okay, let's all now go to mute. Okay, so let's start the session. So nice to see you all. And we are doing this 16th session, I guess. I'm not wrong. Yes. Okay, yeah. So great. So almost like we are doing this karma reincarnation session for last 3 months, 4 months. And there's a great response. A lot of people are attending. And every week there's an ups and downs. And there's enormous changes. A lot of people message me saying that they're able to implement and they're able to see a lot of changes every week. That is more important. Okay, so this is a very intense workshops. And very importantly, a lot of people have questions. In life, there are situations where should I do or no? Or I have two options, what I should do. People always get these situations and questions. And remember, in earth, we have free will. Don't ever think about life of purpose. Think about law of karma. If you get an opportunity, if you want to do, see whether it is according to the law of karma and law of dharma. If you like it, do it. Don't see whether it is in the law of purpose, life of purpose. That is not needed because that's a very big subject. Unless until you tap into your subconscious or your Akashic records, you may not retrieve that information. But law of karma is simple. As you sow, so you reap. So if I have two situations, if I'm confused what to do, see what benefits you and others most by taking one decision. And also, is it going to harm me or others? So based on that, you can take a decision. It is very simple. Don't need to ask anybody. The entire concept of PSSM is be a master. We all have to become a master. Be a master. You are already a master, but be a master. When kids make noise, we tell them, be a good boy. We never say, become a good boy. Because we are already masters. We just need to remember that and be that. So whatever we need to do, just check whether it is according to the law of karma and dharma, then move on. Very simple. I thank my Guruji, Brahmashi Pitama Patriji, for giving me this great platform and teaching me Anapanasati meditation. I am today what I am because of Patriji and all the pyramid masters and my friends, family. Everybody helped me in every possible dimension to make me what I am today. Sincerely thank everyone, and I thank all the students and masters who attend my sessions regularly. When I am teaching, when I am giving a session, I am a master as well as I am also a student. I am also listening along with you. I am learning along with you. This learning is only possible consistently when I give sessions. And there's a great encouragement from everybody. You are regularly attending the sessions and sharing the knowledge and the transformation. The transformations which we get in lives are very important. Thank you, friends. So let's move into the session. Today, we are going to learn law of karma from a great master. His masters, his gurus are Saptarishis. His immediate guru is Maharshi Amara. So we will learn today from the quotes of Guruji Krishnananda. I was fortunate enough to meet him many times in Pyramid Valley and also in city. He is from Manasa Foundation. I was there when he vacated his body. So from his perspective, from his knowledge of the Saptarishi Mandala, let us understand law of karma in his own words. Karma is not meant to be a punishment. Karma is not meant to be a punishment. It is present for the sake of education. How else is someone to learn how to be a good person if they are never taught that harmful action is wrong? A person only suffers if they have created the conditions for suffering. Excellent point. Two things we need to learn from this. That karma is not a punishment. It is there, it is created. In Navagrahas, the Shani Bhagavan, who is the son of Surya, is being created for what? He was created for as a god of Dharma. For karma, we have Shani Bhagavan. For Dharma, we have Yamadharma Raja. Anything we do, if we abide to the law of karma, that not harming anybody, tan man dhan, action, words, thoughts, then we never get into the vicious cycle of karma. And we can learn and teach and leave the earth. If we don't understand the fundamentals and basics of law of karma, we all get caught. Karma is not a punishment. Everybody thinks this. Oh, that's a bad karma, he is going to suffer. Karma is not a punishment. Karma is there for sake of education. If you want to explain about good to others, you must also show them what is bad. If you want to explain the light, you must show the darkness, the opposite side. You need not really go and do it. Seeing is enough. If you are able to show, then you will understand the opposite pole better. Situations comes to teach us a lot of things. Whenever we have a goal to aim to something, we start performing some actions. If something is obstructing, it means a bad karma. Something acts as a catalyst to finish our goals quickly, it is a good karma. That's it, very small, simple fundamentals. We must always remember that. Two things I always remember every day, that I am a soul, I'm not this body. I am residing in this body. That gives me the oneness and expanded mind. Second, any thought, any word, any action, I see whether it is according to the karma and dharma. Dharma comes to the family, immediate family. But karma comes to anything and everybody. Two things, if you don't take care, you get caught. You have to take rebirth again. A person only suffers if they have created a conditions for suffering. Very nice. You have created a condition for suffering, so suffering comes in. What condition? You have given suffering to others, so you have created a condition, and the ball will bounce back, and the arrow will hit back. Your word will hit back, your actions will hit back, your thoughts will hit back. So you have created a condition where that karma comes back. You have given suffering to others and it comes back. Many people said, sir, I have not hurt anyone from my childhood. Okay, then it's a past life karma. Because law is a law. There is no exceptions in the law. It is same for all. Anything you sow, you have to reap it. For every action, there is a reaction. For every sound, there is echo. A person only suffers if they have created a condition for suffering. Very important point. So before you create or talk or think or act, remember you are creating a condition where it will definitely hit you back. You may be a powerful person in your family or your village or your city or your country. You may be a great politician or a great orator, doesn't matter. Always see that your actions, words, thoughts doesn't harm others. If it harms you alone, then it is not karma because you are harming your own self. But apart from you, if you are harming others, there is a balance that need to be paid. Your life plan will get an imbalance. The soul never plans to accumulate karma. The soul plans to learn from maximum situations. Sometimes we create so much of complicated karma. It takes lifetimes to untwine from those karmas. All that we need to remember, there's so much of complication. All that you need to remember is, am I hurting? Am I harming anyone with a thought, word, or action? That's all matters. It can be a person, it can be a bird or a fish or an animal, anybody. You have to always give a counter thought, counter positive thought to disconnect what negativity came from you. Let us move to the second point. We go through bad times mostly due to our karmas and the lessons we need to learn. The soul chooses its experience to work out its karma, but it needs to be in partnership or agreement with another soul. We attract the problems or lessons of our life, not the villains who created them. We attract. Nobody come and create for us. We attract it. People often they say, why problems only come to me? Why they are doing this to me? Nobody does it without a purpose. And remember, one formula I always tell you, if somebody is harming you physically, verbally, remember either they are paying back your old balance or they are creating new karma where they are creating their own environment where they are going to suffer and they have to come back and compensate. In both the cases, if you are just a witness, not interfering, disconnected from that person, it's a win-win situation for you. But whether if you react, if you get indulged into any actions, words or thoughts, you become a part of that karma. We can always choose either to be with someone or to avoid. No problem. But not having anything inside. That is very important. Actions, words, you may stop, but thoughts, forgive or forget. Forgetting is impossible. Most of the times it is tough because everything we hear, we do, we experience, it gets stored in all our cells, so unconscious and subconscious. Forgetting is almost impossible, but forgiving is very easy. We must adapt to something which is simple, which we can understand. Law of karma is easy. Life of purpose is very big. Forgetting is very tough. Forgiving is easy. Just forgive. Forgiving means releasing the thoughts and emotions about others out of your system. Just release. How do we release? Open the tap, let the water flow out. Simple. It is only with you. Nobody can force you. And you are the commander of all your seven bodies. If you wish, forgive them. Talk to them and forgive them. If you are unable to talk, don't want to talk, no problem. Simply forgive. End of the day, you should not hold anything about anybody. That is going to harm you, not them. 10% it will harm them, 90% is going to harm you. It's a karma again. Why you want to create? Never indulge into anybody's karma. If you want to work out one karma with another person, you need to have a partnership. I mean, those are called soul level agreements. If somebody is already in your life, it means that agreement is already there. So finish it. Let us move to the next point. Karmas are spiritual results of our actions. Why did he speak about this word spiritual results? Because it is spirit results, it is soul, it is stored in the soul. We also undergoes karma of the times, the country, and the society we live in. We do inherit some of our parents' karma as well. In an effort to aid the spiritual progress of the disciples, the spiritual masters even take over some of the karma to relieve of that burden. In fact, they exhaust their spiritual energy gathered during the tapas or meditation over hundreds of years on dissolving accrued karma of others. This is very right. The parents' karma, how will I get affected? Nothing gets transferred. Remember, the parents' diseases doesn't get transferred to me. But because of their karma, their environment, the environment will give sufferings, not the people. So they created an environment and we are born there. So because of that, we also suffer. Suppose in a house, the one person has created an environment where it troubles everybody. It's called a family karma. And it has to be undergone. Either that person has to die or he has to change or leave that place. Until then, that house is a hell. The country, once the Britishers came to India, they were occupied. So it's a country karma. Nobody can do anything. We have to fight, struggle, wait for many long years to get our own freedom. It's a country karma. The society karma, yeah. Suppose you are living in a huge apartment. Because of few people, the government has posed some restrictions. Everybody has to face the heat. In my college days, a few of the students after the college hours, they have broken all the equipments in the classroom. The entire class has to face that karma. We all have to shed extra money to compensate. Yet nobody knows who did. So sometimes, because of certain people, a huge group gets affected, which is unavoidable because we live in a society, commune. Whether it's a society or a country or a city or a village, everybody has to face. In effort to aid the spiritual progress of the disciple, the spiritual masters even take some of the karmas to relieve them. This happens. Most of the masters ask me when they go teach meditation, when they go and join some meditation groups, they get energy, but at the same time, they get some body pains. They feel some uneasiness. But after a few hours or half a day, they are back. So, what happens exactly? After every session, it almost takes more than 1 hour for me to completely get my energies back because I shed all my energies through my sessions. It is not I do willingly, it happens naturally. That's the difference. If I focus and willingly transfer, then it becomes a karma to me. If it is happening naturally, then it is according to the nature, and I don't get into that karma. Some people have so much of karma and they are unable to take a step forward, try something, because the accumulated bad karma doesn't allow them to do anything. But they are willing to consciously change, consciously do some action. In those cases, certain part of their karma gets transferred, and this energy goes and hits them. So they are relieved to a certain extent, and then they are able to do their works. But the accumulated karma doesn't go into our karmic balance. It just stays in the outer bodies and then it vanishes. So that's the beauty. It doesn't go into our account. So don't need to worry about it. All the tapas, the meditations, the energy the master receives, it diffuses, it dissolves, so that masses can enjoy that temporary relief. But people who take that and transform themselves, they progress. People only take that energy for the time being, they again accumulate karma. It is not so important how much we hear and learn, but it's very important how we implement and progress little by little. There's no hurry, the soul is never in a hurry. Why associate karmas with bad ones only, and why associate? Why focus on abuse of free will? There are many good things we choose, and these results in good karma too. Free will is a very important point. In every dimension, every planet, there are heavy restrictions. But we all choose Earth because Earth is a place of free will. Anybody can do anything. Nobody will talk about how many thoughts you have. Only your words and actions get a response. But in thought level, your wish, you do anything you want. Earth is a free will. You are born here to do anything. You can become anything here. Most freedom is in the earth. That's why we all choose to be born here. Because the growth is here. Where there is freedom, there is growth. If you want a person to grow in his life, start giving freedom. You can tell them the boundaries, but create a boundary and leave them. Don't do micromanagement. They will never grow. If you really want other person to grow, all that you need to give is freedom. Your favorite teacher or your favorite friend is one who gives you a lot of freedom. If your parents give a lot of freedom, you will love them. If they restrict, you hate them. This is truth. This is nature. This is what Krishnananda ji is telling. There are free will to do anything. But if you abuse it, you are going to pay for that karma. You are free to do anything, provided remember the law of karma. It is not going to leave you. The law of karma were introduced by God Himself. Who is God? The Creator, the souls. It is very important to know that before we took birth on this level of existence, we as souls, we completely briefed about the pros and cons of free will and karma. So we know that. You cannot say, I don't know. We have to do the sadhana, tap to our higher conscious. So we know most of the times when you are doing an action, your inner says something. Your inner clearly says whether you should do it or no. So it is in your hands. You have to be conscious enough. At the level of the souls, we always know the consequences of the actions. We came here with a full awareness, but we forgot who we are. The moment you meditate, empty your mind, we are connected with our own ourselves, higher selves. We can always remember the law of karma. Our inner clearly tells whether this is right or wrong. That is called intuitions, not the mind. You can never satisfy the mind. Mind always gives you choices. Mind doesn't take your advices. It takes inputs from everywhere and it will give you multiple choices. That is the nature. If you understand the nature of the mind, you should learn to ignore the mind. We have to develop our intuitions so we can live a careful life. I always live with my intuition. Everything comes. So I'm more careful in taking every word, action, or thought. So I don't accumulate any karma. I don't get into that vicious cycle of karma. Once you become a Brahmagnani, there is no concept of karma because you go beyond that. All the karmas will be vanished the moment you become enlightened. What is enlightenment? The moment you experience that you are a soul, you are called an enlightened. Until then, whatever information you gather, you have never experienced that you are a soul. So you always think you are a body. That's a simple explanation and definition of enlightenment. The moment you become enlightened, it's a journey again. It's not a stop, it is a start of a new journey. If we are careful enough not to overstep the law of free will, then we will not accrue any karmas. Free will, very important. Many people come and ask me advices. Many people ask me many things. But first, I will check what they are thinking, what they want to do. Most of the time, people come to us. They don't want answers. They just want acknowledgement. Whether you acknowledge or not, they are going to anyway do. In those cases, it is absolutely with their free will. They have decided something. If you are okay with that, you say yes. Otherwise, you say it is your wish. If you cutthroat tell them, do this, don't do this, then we are interfering into their free will. Make them think. Make them decide the ultimate final step. So that may be a good karma, may be a bad karma. You don't get into that account. People want to try something new. Let them. If there is truth here, wherever they go, they will run and come here. That is why here we don't convince anybody. Because we know this is ultimate truth. If someone wants to go research somewhere and come, let them go. Because they are only burning their time. This is ultimate truth. Everybody has to come here one day. And that is going to happen. And is already happening. Nowhere else you will see transformations. Everywhere there is little transformation and more information. We have to be very careful not to overstep the laws of free will. Again, it is a law. Any law when you break, any law when you override, what happens? You get into the karmic cycles. If the person is serious about positivization and transformation, then the karmas can be reduced, spread over, postponed, cancelled, even taken over. Your words, thoughts, your actions has to be fulfilled sincerely, with seriously positivity. And anything you think, whether you speak, whether you act, it has to bring transformation inside you. If that is happening, if the transformation is happening, then we need not worry about the karmas. Every person who go to Ganga, they know they do a lot of bad karmas. But yet they go take a dip and say, okay, all my karmas are vanished. But the next moment they will start accumulating. What is the point? Nobody can take away all your karmas. Nobody can transfer all their karmas to you. It is us. We have to create an environment so that we don't suffer and people who come to us won't suffer. It is in our hands. The souls are created to occupy. Plants, animals are different from the souls of the human being. This is very important. A soul of a plant or an animal, after it lives on the earth, reduced to the creator and merges to him. It doesn't reincarnate, as the law of karma do not apply to the souls. Once it merges, it ceases to exist as individual souls. In other words, it disintegrates. So these are the words. But remember, when there are birds, animals, their souls doesn't merge. In my experience, it evolves. It evolves life to life. And then finally, it wants to be born as a humans. Any animals, souls, which comes near to the humans, like a domestic animals, pet animals, they need the touch and feel of the humans. They gather a lot of courage. They will be born as a infant souls in the forthcoming lifetimes. Every animal, nothing goes and merges. There is no concept of merging. It all comes and evolves and it becomes another creator. There is no merging concept. So, who are animals and birds? Are they not our brothers and sisters? The animals are our past and we are their future. They want to become humans. We have to help them evolve to humans. If we kill them, we are postponing their progress. Thereby, we are adding karma to our progress. Knowingly or unknowingly, whatever harm you do to others, we create obstacles for our own path. And who is going to save us? Nobody. No guru will come and save you. Only you have created that karma, so you have to clear it. A guru can only show the path. Nobody will do your homework. Nobody is going to clear your mess. If you have such expectations, remove it. Because that is not true. Nobody can bless you. Who is there to bless you? Everybody is there to wish you. Your karmas, the good karmas is a blessings to you. Your bad karmas is a curse to you. The higher souls that occupy human bodies are from different origins. That's very important, yes. They can take birth as many times as they wish, and the law of karma that apply to them depend on their origin. After death, they return to their source, retain their identity for as long as their creator exists. We all come from different planets, different dimensions, different frequencies, different lifetimes. We all have different karmas. The twins born, both are different souls, different lifetimes. Physically, they may appear same, and the parents used to buy the same set of clothes to both of them, same caps. It looks very funny. When the twins comes, they both look identical, but the souls are different. They may speak same, they may act like same, but both the souls that resides in the bodies are two different souls. It is not one single soul. A mother who has given birth to twins, she has carried two sets of souls. What a great mother she is. How much great inner transformation a mother would have got. And every soul that comes, their karma applies to them. They don't transfer, though they are born in the same womb. They can be born anytime, any number of times. There is no limit. It's like unlimited trips. You take how many more trips you want, unlimited. Nobody is going to limit. But ideally, it has to be completed in 300 lifetimes. During its lifetime on the earth, the soul exercises its free will to experience life. Yes, the soul wants experiences. And to experience something, you need this physical body. So we choose physical body and we are born on the earth planet to experience. Since every soul is entitled to the free will, you have a free will to attend this session or drop in between or attend till the end. You have the free will to do. Nobody is going to force you. We have the free will to attend anything or not attend anything, do anything, not do anything. It's a choice. So when it comes to the choice, you have to be intelligent enough to think the choices which I make in life, is it complementing me? Is it helping me to grow in all spiritual dimensions? Or is it harming me or others? Now, am I doing my dharma rightly or no? Until unless you understand the fundamentals of spirituality, the choices you take, you cannot be an independent person. You cannot be a master to take control of your life. Every day you have to become a slave of others. Since every soul is entitled to free will, it is possible that while exercising it, it may violate the free will of another deliberately. You can violate the free will of others, force them, interfere into their lives. Then you are violating your free will to control others. To ensure the soul's free will is not violated, the creator has to frame certain laws, because that cannot keep on happening. Then nobody grows. That law, the commonly known as law of karma, it is more of an agreement or commitment made by a soul to respect the free will of other souls. Free will is very, very important. We should not misuse it. An opportunity has to be like a catalyst to us. We should never take it as an advantage and hinder others' growth. It is what makes a soul a soul. Without it, the creation has no meaning. It is because of our free will we either evolve or we degenerate. When there is no law of karma, when there is no free will, there is no learning. We simply come and stay and go. There's no point. Those laws are created so that everybody grows and everybody doesn't poke your nose into others. If somebody don't understand law of karma, the simple words I always tell, mind your own business. If somebody seeks help, help them. If somebody seeks guidance, give the guidance. Don't have any emotional attachment with anybody. You are going to attract their karmas. I have seen two people who has to be very crucial in their lives. One is the High Court judge. Second one is doctors. Because every day they are going to meet people who are at the highest possible karmas. Your highest accumulated karmas, your full of body will be diseases, you will be in the hospitals. And if you have the highest bad karmas, you will be finally in the jail. So every day, remember, the doctors or the high court judge, they meet a lot of people who comes with the loads of bad karma. So these people, especially when they are countering such bad karma people, there should need not any sympathy. They have to see the law, what he has done, and according to the law, give the results, because it is a role he has to play. If you forget that you are doing a role, you get deeply involved into it, then you are going to attract the karma. Very soon, you are going to be a diseased body. Your body is going to become a diseased body. Very crucial rules. More free will implies more responsibilities and the possibilities of more karma. Yeah. The understanding is very, very important. If you don't have proper understanding, and if you have full freedom to do anything, the scope of attracting more karmas and the possibility will increase. Be very, very careful. What you think, what you wish for, your actions, your words, you have to pay back. Just like taking a loan. And the law will not give any space to anybody. The law is a law. That is why it is created. The law of karma doesn't apply to the souls of plants and animals because they have very limited awareness and they cannot conscientiously violate another free will. The amount of karma a soul can attract is directly proportional to the extent of its free will. Yes. The birds and the animals, there is no karma. because the free will is very less. Their consciousness is very small. They're learning. When you're learning, the mistakes are okay. But for the humans, the evolved souls, the law of karma is very, 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 very severe and sincere. If you abide, it's okay. If you go against it, you have to pay back. Pay back when? Either in this lifetime, next day, 1 year, even sometimes after 5,000 years. But the account will never be closed. When souls of a certain origin leave, they retain their mind, hence the karmas. You see, your monkey mind comes with you even after you leave the body. Because mind element will not leave you. They create new karmas in each lifetime, carry them for countless lifetimes. The mind gets carried, the astral body. As long as there are bodies, the 7 bodies, there are 7 minds. If you don't learn the art of controlling your thoughts, nullifying your thoughts, moving beyond your thoughts while you are in the physical body consciously, it is not possible after you vacate the body because you are same here and there. Don't think the moment you vacate the body, you become like an angel. Nothing changes. Except one physical body you will not have. That's all. Except this Lord, everything else we have. You carry. When a soul accumulates too much karmas, it forgets about the origin and its life on the earth will be full of ignorance of suffering. Yeah, you have too much of load, karma. You have problems in every dimension. You will forget that you are a soul and you are already swimming in the ignorance and suffering. You give suffering to yourself. You cannot see the light when you are in too much of darkness. And who created this too much of darkness? It is you. Don't blame others. At such times, spiritual guides are sent to help so that they can realize then they can burn their karma. But how? Only through meditation. If there is no meditation, you cannot control your mind. First, you are a dhyani, you sit, you observe the breath, the thought will come again and again, again and again, again and again. You have to disconnect, 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 disconnect. Keep on disconnecting it. That is a stage of dhyani. Then once you are able to control your thoughts, no thoughts at my will and wish, I can control my thoughts, then you become a yogi. Saksmat yogi bhava Arjuna. This is what the words of Krishna. Right away at this moment, become a yogi. Otherwise, you will not understand spirituality. A man or a woman with full of thoughts and full of karmas will never understand or realize that they are spirits. Let us see some of the laws of karma that everybody should understand. The first law says cause and effect. As you sow, so you reap. We must time and again keep to remember these things. It is not a one-time job. Your mind is programmed so heavily that you need to swim across and against the current of the lies with the current of truth so that the mind will allow you to meditate. As you sow, so you reap. Whatever actions you have taken, you are going to reap it now or later, but the account is always open. What you seek, if you seek happiness, peace, love, friendship, what you should give is the same. What you seek, you give. I seek knowledge. For me, the most valuable thing in this whole creation is the knowledge. We don't restrict to one master or one particular subject. We learn from everybody. We keep on learning, learning, learning. We ponder upon different websites, different books, different audios, videos. We gather so much of knowledge. because this we carry. Energy we have, we give, it will always come and go. It's very important. And depending on the works we do, our consciousness expands. But knowledge is very important. This knowledge, what you gather here, it is helpful not only here, everywhere, because this knowledge is spirit related, spirituality, education about the spirit, not about this physical body. If you learn anything about this physical body, it is limited to this earth plane, it is going to vanish here. But the knowledge which we gather about the spirit, it is going to come with us in all the dimensions. Whatever one puts out in the universe will come back to them. So what you throw, either in the mode of thoughts, actions, or words, is going to come back, my friends. Remember, 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 remember. Before performing anything out of your system, remember it is going to hit you back. Be conscious, be aware of every word you speak, every thought, every action. Thoughts may be difficult, but words and actions, it's in your hands. Your words, your actions, it's in your hands. Many people speak something and say, sorry, I didn't mean that. I didn't have the control. Suddenly it came. Suddenly, how will it come? Suddenly. If you are not aware, it will come. If you don't have control. So those experiences will teach you have control. You must not control others. You must control your words, actions, and thoughts. People love to control others. Keep them under them. What are you going to gain? You are interfering into the free will. Law of creation. Life requires our participation to happen. It doesn't happen by itself. We are one with the universe, both inside and outside. Whatever surrounds us gives us clues of the inner state. Surround yourself with what you want to have in your life and be yourself. We have to understand how our nature is. Certain people are very logical. They think with their mind, they perform with the mind. Certain people are totally intuitive. They don't use their mind at all. They go with the intuition's messages. But when these people come together, they can create beauty. Because person who is intuitive can show the path. Person who is logical can walk in the path. We need everybody. We cannot evolve alone. If you want to evolve alone, why you are born in a place where so many people are born? There are planets there is nobody. You can go and be born there. But the evolution will not happen. You will not evolve there. We are both inside and outside universe. We always have to give. We always have to get. I had the biggest block in my life many years ago that I'm happy to give anything to everybody. Many times, many people come after a few years and say, that day you helped me. I don't even remember because the moment I give, I forget. I don't carry any of the recordings. But if I want to receive something from someone, there's always a hesitation from inside. Giving is easy, but taking is always tough for me many years ago. But I understood that it's both energies. If I reject something that is coming, it means I am blocking. That one day in a workshop, this one block got blasted. From that day onwards, anybody gives me anything, I take. And if I want to give anything to anybody, I give. But I will not remember. Not have any emotions. See, every action, every thought, word is always recorded inside you. You cannot erase it. There's no delete button or eraser button. It always gets recorded. But very important thing is, don't have emotions around it. Suppose you see a photograph of yours, or some friend or family member tells you in 1990 this happened, and last year somebody called. What happens? Literally, we travel in the time, we exactly go in that moment because those memories are inside you. But that situations will teach you whether you have emotions surrounding that particular memories. If you have, remove it. If I go and talk about few people to my dad, he always gets anger. Why? Because the moment he hears the names, he remembers all the emotions around the name. So he is suffering. Those are karmas. We should not have anything about anybody. Memories cannot be erased, but the emotions, the thoughts around the memories can be erased. Those are karmas. Unfinished businesses, unfinished balance is karma. Law of humility. One must accept something in order to change. If one sees in an enemy or a negative character, they are not and cannot be focused on a higher level of existence. There are no enemies. The word enemy itself is very negative. Who created it? You are shutting your door. See, whether you like someone, be with them, talk with them. You don't like, say in a good terms, you say bye bye and leave. What they think about you is their karma. But enmity is a very high negative emotion you keep inside you. The moment you see their photograph or see their name, something burns inside you. That is not good because you are going to carry that for lifetimes. And that should not be one stupid reason for you to be reborn. Remove it. No enmities with anybody. Have friendship so that in every dimension they will help you. Law of growth. Wherever you go, there you are. It is we must change and not the people. Very important. Be a Roman in the Rome. If you are living in a community, you have to change accordingly. Don't expect everybody to change according to you. Means you are interfering with the free will of people and their community. You have to change. You have to adapt. Otherwise, keep quiet. Don't expect others to change. That is law of growth. We cannot ask everybody to change according to you. All we are giving is ourselves. That is the only thing we have to control over. When we change who and what we are within our hearts, we live. Our lives will follow suit and change too. It's very important, very simple. Understand the environment, understand the people, and you adjust. Don't make others adjust. Once you're enlightened, you fit into every cycle, every circle, every box. If you are not enlightened, you always create environment so that you always suffer. And law of responsibility. If there is some wrong in one life, there is something wrong in them. If somebody is yelling, it means they are suffering inside. So the output alone you are able to hear. If somebody is crying, it is the final output of their suffering inside. It means they are suffering inside. And why such people come to you? Because we mirror what surrounds us. When you become enlightened, people come to seek guidance from you. That's a different story. Before that, we attract. The inner attracts inner. If you have fear, the person who has fear will come to you. I have my one friend. Whenever I'm in a confusion, whenever I am in a state of little disturbance, he will call me and he will start sharing his problems and his disturbances. I saw that pattern many years ago. Otherwise, he will not call, he will not talk because his nature will look into such similar inner natures, they immediately connect. One must take responsibility for what's in one's life. One's life, your life is your responsibility. You cannot blame anybody. You are born, you chose that house, the mother, the father, the sibling, you have chosen your gender, your color of the skin tone, your height, your situations based on your past karmas, everything you have chosen, my friend. This you will anyway understand after you vacate your body. The game is you have to understand when you are residing in this body. The law of connection again. Everything is interconnected. What is positivity and negativity? In simple words, anything you do which will collect everybody and connects everybody, it's positive. Anything which will split or give suffering or see everybody is different is negative. That law of inner connection. In past, present, future, we are all connected. I've met many people in the spiritual growth, in the path. I know them for many past lives. very easily able to connect because we existed in past, we are now in the present, and we will be born again in the future. Once I was taking a flight from Bangalore to Hyderabad. I was sitting in my gate. Suddenly, in a moment, the 100 people who are traveling with me, for a moment, I got my intuition that I know all these people. Similarly, all the travelers, the co-travelers who comes with us for many lifetimes, in different bodies, different colors, different race, religions, we all meet, we complement each other, we help each other, so we grow together. The law of focus. One cannot think on two things at the same time. If our focus is on spiritual values, it is not possible for us to have lower thoughts like greed or anger. The words of Krishnananda. Law of focus. Focus on one thing, achieve it, then move on. You can have 100 things, but focus one by one, complete it. And whatever you focus, ensure you have highest spiritual values. What is spiritual values? You have to see every work in a point view of seven bodies, not just this physical body, the physical mind. See as a whole, some oneness. Then your focus is 100%. You evolve. The law of giving and hospitality is very important. Hospitality I have learned from my brother and my father. Whoever comes in the life, they give the best hospitality. Atiti Devo Bhava. Who is Atiti? If your friend calls, say, hey, I'm coming to your house, he comes to your house. He is not Atiti because he is informing you that he is coming. But someone walks in without your invitation, like in the ancient days, suddenly a rishi comes into your house, a beggar gets into your house, he is Atiti. There, you must give the best hospitality. Or anybody who comes in your house, whoever is around you, give them the best hospitality. At most, what hospitality you can give? Everything you give is a good food and good bed, a shelter. People will feel comfortable. When they are comfortable in the body level, the mind gets in comfort. And that whole place becomes a heaven. Law of giving, because you must always understand what you give comes back. What you want, you start giving. Don't try to accumulate because it will be lost. If you want to multiply something, start giving. The law of here and now, the power of now. Have this formula: out of sight, out of mind. When you are in office, be in office. When you are on the road, be in the road. When you are in the house, be in the house. Don't be here and think about something. Because your body is here, the mind is somewhere. Your astral body goes there. That's a disconnection. And don't be in your old thoughts, patterns, emotions, old dreams. Some examination you did not clear properly, all those worries. Don't stay in the past. Be here, be here. The life is here, this moment. When I'm giving this session, I'm totally here. I'm not thinking about my next session or what happened in the morning. Nothing. I'm here. I'm totally here. That is how I am able to deliver what exactly has to happen through me. The law of here and now, the bliss is here. In this very moment, there may be rishis around you. You are going to miss that, my friends. Don't miss that. The law of change again. Everything changes. History will repeat. Why? Until we learn the lessons, we need to change our path. The situation keeps on coming, same situation in your life. Then you have not accepted it. You have not learned from it. The moment you learn, we always try to escape from such situations. If you learn to accept and face it, the lesson is learned, it won't come. Why is it going to come? If you really accept and move on, you don't even really bother whether it comes back. A law of patience and reward. Patience is a very big key. Kids have less patience. The age grows, the patience has to grow with it. Once you become married, then your patience will be doubled. When you have one kid, your patience will almost touch the Himalayan mountain. If you have two kids, three kids, You have crossed the peak of Himalayan mountains of patience. I do every action to ensure my patience level increases every day. The business will teach you patience. The job will teach you patience. Taking care of the kids will teach you patience. Because the farmer must have a lot of patience, because the moment you put the seed, the plant won't come, the tree won't come, the fruits won't come. It takes time. Remember, my friend, patience will give you reward. Every time you are impatient, remember you are losing something. Either a product or a person or a situation or a joy. You are missing something when you lack patience. So do anything and everything to increase your patience. To just check how much patience you have. When you are hungry, bring the best, whatever you love, the dish in front of you. Just see it, don't eat it. See how much time you are able to not touch it. It's a simple test we need to do. The lack of patience, you are going to lose your own rewards. A true joy comes. You must know when to put the seed, how much to water, how much time to wait. Then whatever the reward the nature gives you is amazing. It's same like agriculture. Agriculture is exactly equal to the law of karma. You expect too much early, it won't happen. You pour too much of water, the plant gets spoiled. And if you don't have patience, you will lose. So everything goes hand in hand. Another point is law of significance and inspiration. These are all the points of law of karma. Significance. One get back from something where they put into it. Exactly at that point. The true value of something is the direct results of the energy and the intent. Intention is very important. You will see three people doing same work, but the intentions will be different. The amount of energy, the amount of money, the time they put is same, but the intention is different. The nature gives back to you not based on only the time, effort, and money, but also the intention. The intention why I do sessions, I am very clear. Everybody is born in this earth planet for the self growth. So the intention, the pure intention, the purer the intention you have, the greater the rewards you get, the greater the results you get. So what you must change is your intentions. That comes from the thoughts. Your personal work should contribute to the whole. Your personal wishes should be a part of the whole creation. If you're doing only for yourself, your growth will be in tiny bits. Anything you do which also supports everybody around you, then the reward system what you get will be amazing. Anything you do, see whether it is benefiting everybody, then you will see the results. Karma is a lifestyle that promotes positivity and actions. Positive thinking and actions. Positive thinking is very important. At least miraculous thinking is something, but positive thinking is very important. If you get a negative thoughts, people always ask me, I'm getting so much of negative thoughts, what to do? Simple. For every negative thought, start giving 100 positive thoughts. Then you see that negative thought vanishes. Stay more in the higher frequencies. Then you will enjoy the bliss. Being happy is most important. Understand two things. The law of dharma is taking care of my parents, my sisters, my wife, my kids, my husband. This is dharma. Anything beyond that is it's your extra things. But this comes under dharma. If you don't take care of them physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, everything you need to take when it comes to the family. Because family comes under it's a family dharma. But beyond that, the law of karma starts. Even within the family, law of karma is everywhere. Law of dharma comes only to the family. When you understand the fundamentals, when you understand where to strike the right balance, You don't get into unnecessary karmas, and you will be in joy, and you create an environment. When you're a CEO of a company, when you're head of a company, when you are the head of the house, you must create an environment where there is full of joy, full of enlightenment, enjoyment. Your knowledge should reflect everywhere. There should be laughter, there should be joy, there be humorous around you. Don't live a very serious life. The soul wants joy. Enlightenment is all about how you live with a lot of joy and how much freedom you give to others. What you give, you must get. You will get. What you sow, you will get. Remember agriculture. What seed you put, the exact plant will come. The patience will give you reward. Thank you very much, friends. Today we have learned greater knowledge from Guruji Krishnananda, who is a disciple of Guruji Amara, who is a part of all these Saptarishi Mandalas. And let us now start taking questions from everybody. People who want to talk, please raise your hands in Zoom, and then I'll unmute. I'm very happy to see the participants are 100. I think the house is full. Okay, Sharda Sharma ji, can unmute and talk.
Hello, sir. Good
Namaste.
morning.
Morning.
Namaste. And sir, which book you are referring to?
No book. It is I took few quotations from Guruji Krishnananda ji. That's it.
Okay, but still some book related to this person.
Yeah, there's so many books. When you search for Guruji Krishnananda ji, you will get so many books.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for very lovely session.
Thank you, thank you. Are you meditating?
Yeah, I did JTTP4 and I'm into few of the groups. I'm from Ludhiana.
Very nice, ma'am. All the best. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Jungle sir.
Master, it is a wonderful session. First time I hear a lot of laws applicable to law of karma. I think it's so many laws you have listed out. I think it's really a wonderful inputs for us.
Yes,
Look
sir.
at every law. It has a direct connection to the law of karma, Master. It's so wonderful. It's really first time I got so many list of laws which will have a binding on what I do.
Yes, 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 yes.
Really, really wonderful. Yeah, it's something which I want looking at the. I think listening to the laws of responsibility, law of here and now, and law of patience and reward. What so many. But where can you get some kind of book to link with this? All these laws, list of laws which you mentioned, Master.
See, I always get help. I
I know you get it too. Automatic. It's
So I
really
have
good.
just shared that PDF, whatever I have received, I have just shared the PDF.
Yeah, it is really good.
You can use it. Every book, see, every spiritual master, they definitely speak about law of karma.
Yes, it is. You are right.
It is a
Whatever
fundamental,
But
important
this is
topic.
very long list what you gave. It's
Yes.
really a very long list. We need to really go little each one and gather the knowledge, gather the information and assimilate. And I think it will be very, very helpful.
It's a lifetime process, sir.
I know. It's yeah, we are impatient at times, but you have to really wait, add. It's like adding brick by brick to build it up. Thank you, Master. It's really, really
Thank you. Thank
great
you.
session. Great session.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so next we have Shobha Madam.
Good morning, sir.
Right. Yes, madam.
I'm very happy to talk with you, sir. I'm very happy you gave me the chance to talk with you.
Yes, madam.
Sir, what are all you are telling? This is my second class, sir. Karma theory. I have attended last one and this one. in the childhood, I have some inner voice with me. All the voices are, those all words are coming out of your mouth, sir. The last class and this class. And that time I thought that I am right or wrong. Because in surrounding nobody is there to tell me you are right, this is right. But your words, nothing, sir. I am sitting there and I am talking with me like that. I am feeling, sir, now with your words. And my question is this, sir. Some meditation, sir. I am doing a lot of meditation nowadays. My question is, somebody told that from 11, 12 to 2, no need to do meditation. Somebody said that there is a negative energy. And in Seth wisdom, we have learned that there is no karma. If you want to clear the karma at the moment, you have clear that. Such we heard, sir. I am confusion in these two.
See, first of all, the cosmic energy comes from cosmos.
Okay, sir.
And we don't need to have any timings. Okay, there is no positive timing, negative timing. In Purnami, you can do meditation, even Amavasya, you can do meditation, midnight, you can do, morning, you can do, every day and time, you can do meditation. That's a myth. I'm just putting on mute, madam. There's a lot of noise is coming. I'm sorry for that. I think you are able to hear me. Okay. The second thing is, if Seth says something, take it. If Krishnananda says something, take it. You take from everybody. Don't conclude saying that there is no karma. If there is no karma, then there is no creation. Okay. So in one dimension, they have given one knowledge. In another dimension, somebody is giving knowledge. If there is no law of karma, there is no law of creation. The entire creation is running with the law of karma. If there is no law of karma, everybody has free will to do everything, then that is not how the nature is created. The Lord Sun has created Shanishwara. Why? Because he will bring justice to all. Okay. Suppose you are a parent, you have a kid, the another kid is fighting with your kid. You always support your kid. And you will always see, you tell your kid, okay, you don't do another kid, you will start seeing the point. But in law of dharma, karma, everybody is equal. He is not related with anybody. So according to the law, they will answer. Okay, the law of karma is always there. I know many books, many masters. I am always learning. I'm continuously learning. Okay. The Seth is a great master. I'm not saying no. Seth is ultimate master, great knowledge. You create your own reality. Who said those words? Seth. You create your own realities. Then, with your thoughts, you are creating own. Is that not a karma? Karma is action. And earth is called what? Karma bhumi. How can someone say there is no karma? Hope that answers your question. Thank you very much, Shobha madam. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Anuradha ji.
Good morning, Ayappa.
Yes, ma'am.
And it was a wonderful session today. I just actually, there's no questions. Hearing your sessions and digesting your material itself, it takes time. But I just wanted to answer just now. One gentleman asked about where the material we can get for these karmas. I just wanted to tell my experiences. Ayappa, I'm not that I wanted to praise you in doom or something like that. My self experience is I have read lots of books, Doorways to Light, Linda Goodman, Seth, and Amara books, Fakir, where in, as you said, every book is got this karma, this law of karma, sir, but my self experience to my friend who just now questioned you, I wanted to just tell, of course, it might be a different, but after whatever I read for past 10 years, even I have been reading so many books, sir. But I was reading, but I will tell you very sincerely and very truthfully, after listening to your 16 karmas incarnations, these things, sessions, I'll tell you, my dear friends, I think whatever I read all these past 10 years I'm into meditation, whatever I read in all these books, I have also read lots of books. And but this 16 incarnation clause of karma, what Mr. Ayappa has told, if we can follow that word by word and sentence per sentence, if you can digest that, take into your DNA and do it, I think that is really fantastic. This is nothing to do with the Ayappa. I just wanted to give one small session to a friend who just now asked to tell some books about karmas. But I will tell you, this is a really fantastic. I'm telling you, so much has changed. A change has come into me after listening these sessions. This goes, and I don't delete all the 16. Still I've got, wherever I think I'm going out of track, I immediately, now I've got by heart Ayappa's loss of karma. So now what I do, what I talk, actually, to be very frank, nowadays I stop talking, I
Yeah.
stop thinking. Why unnecessarily getting into opening mouth and creating karmas? So
Yeah.
I'm trying to be very calm, cool, and away in my soul consciousness. Just so that is what I wanted to tell. So thank you, Ayappa. I think I'm
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
talking too much.
No, no, nothing. I am also learning with all of you. It's very important.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Anuradha ji is a very good friend of me. Okay, so let's move to. Yes, sir. Jungle, sir, you can always come back. Don't need to ask me, sir. Yes, sir. Surender ji.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir. Tell me, sir.
So it's very nice. Actually, I like Krishnananda Guru very much. I read a lot of books, Doorways of Light, and I keep this Manasa Foundation because it is nearest to Alahanka.
Yeah.
So I enjoy there and I meditate there. So today, this session, it's really touched me a lot, especially Saptarushis, Maharshi Amara. Every day, whenever I do meditation, always I remember them that consciousness, it's always I experience, I feel that.
Yeah.
So today that session, has really gave me taken to another dimension. So as usual, my sessions are going well, and every session I'm learning. When once here I'm a student, there I'm a teaching. The cup concept is going very well. That I am emptying the cup. But only one thing is, as I told you last time, I experienced that whenever I empty that cup, after the session, I experience some sort of that energy is gone. So now, as last class you told, so I wait for that rather than judging and that. So I allow it to go through that process. So whatever that, so then I come back. So in the process, sometimes I get this feel that my BP has raised. Such things I used to experience. So I used to take medicine, just one small IMG. Now after that, attending that you give that inputs. This is not to control. This is what allow it to happen. So then I started the last 15 days. I reduced that to 2.5, and now I stopped completely. So now I'm not taking any medicine. Earlier, that was the belief system was going inside of me, thinking that this number 80, 120, it should not go up. And this is only the created by some logical mind, and that was that. There is no thing. It is that BP rising and going, coming down. It's all the situation. I got that wisdom now. So I understood that. So now that is not the matter. It can be high or it can be low. It's all what is the depends on our situation and our conditions. And that is what it is. That body needs that time, that much thing. So that's what I understood. Now I'm completely out of all the medicines. I am enjoying all the sessions. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So
It's
nice to
got-
see you. You are taking all this knowledge to everybody, and your transformation is directly proportional to your sessions.
Yes. Sir. So this life is echo, no? That is what I am experiencing now. What I am giving, it's coming back now. Because this I started last 4-5 months back.
Hmm.
Now I am seeing the seeds. What I put the seed at that time, now I am seeing that reap. One by one, I'm experimenting, not only experimenting my own, whatever I learned, let me experience it. Experiment and experience. In that process evolved, and now I come to the enlightenment, starting stage. So now enjoy the eternity now. Enjoyment and eternity.
All the best, sir. Enjoy.
Thank
Thank you, sir. Okay, next we have Krishnavenichi. Please unmute and talk.
Namaste, Master.
Namaste.
Yeah, Master, I was very impressed with the story that you were studying about the thief and the family, right? Whether whatever he go and steal from the people is the karma is going to the 5 other family members. Okay, I'm very impressed of that story. I'm trying to relate that to my own family life. If let's say I got 3 kids. And all my 2 kids, girls are okay. My son is a bit very playful type, and he always have a lot of he always don't really focus his time with studies. He likes to focus on his games online. So I always scold him, and I always give him some mental torture also. I have to accept that. Okay, so I'm doing this for his own good. That is what I'm thinking. But when after listening to this, is it really what I think is correct, or it's like I'm not very sure about it?
It is again, see, 2 kids are listening to you, so that's why you tell them they are good boys. 1 kid not listening, so you call them as a naughty boy. When it comes to anything extreme, we always have the dharma to tell them, hey, limit it. Okay. Anybody in life on anything, there should be a limit. There cannot be unlimitedness in anything. For example, if they're playing games, let them play. But they can't play forever and ever and ever, because it is going to spoil their body, their mind. So you can always go and tell them, have a limit, take a break, do multiple things. Don't stuck into one thing forever.
That is my information to him, but he refused to understand that. That's why I get very.
There are like parents. Okay, so they force the kids to an extent. The kid is totally against them, or the kid leaves the house. They sometimes do many things. Later the parents repent. So from your side, you are doing your best, but that opposite side, if it is not happening, it is really not in your hands or my hands. Use the free will again. Okay, do your best and see what happens. That's all. But don't take it to extremes.
Okay, understood. So is that going to increase my bad karma?
No. It's your dharma.
Responsive, right?
When it comes to the family, it's a dharma.
Yeah.
Okay. When there is something you see that's not right, you are telling. But don't take any emotions inside. It's going to give you suffering.
Yeah. I'm very clear on that.
Yeah. There is a saying, your kids comes through you, not from you. Okay, they come through you. They are born for themselves. They are not born because of you. Okay, not for you, they are born. They are born for themselves. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Master.
Increase your knowledge and meditation. Slowly you will understand. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, Dr. Hirveji. Okay, I'm unmuting you. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Sir, बहुत ही अच्छा session. Your session is very good,
Thank
and
you,
I enjoyed it very a lot. But I want one clarification about from you. During the set wisdom, we have learned that you are multidimensional.
Mhm.
So in the form of many souls,
Mhm.
your one soul is in India. At the same time, your another soul will be in USA.
Yeah.
If your soul in USA committed murder or something wrong things, and your soul in India does the good 100 or 1,000 good things, then that karma of committing murder or doing the murder in USA will not punish you in India. So I cannot. Can you clarify this?
Well, simple, sir.
Yes, sir.
If I start a business, I have branches in 4 countries.
Yes, sir.
The profits I get in India is my profit. The loss which gets incurred in USA is also my loss. So here, if I make a profit of 2 million, there I make a loss of 1 million. Still, my account has 1 million. Okay. My own cousin sister, she is my twin soul. So when we were born, we were born into 2 souls. So she is now in US, I am in India, exactly like you said.
Yeah.
Okay, my thinking, our both thinking patterns, energies, everything is equal. If a situation is given, we both think exactly like that. Later, we understand we are twin souls. Okay, so she has taken a female body, I have taken a male body. So she is experiencing life, she is doing whatever she wants. And I am totally deep into meditation. She is not so deep into meditation, but she is a great master. She does meditation for herself. She is experiencing family life. It is her wish. And whatever I am doing is my wish. Okay, but overall net to net, it's all accumulation. Okay, it is same light. You are seeing 2 images.
Okay.
But whatever bad karma if she does there, it is going to definitely affect me. Not maybe immediately now, but it will be in the account.
Okay.
It will be in the account. And one day again, when you are born, you have to be born from that account. Your
Okay.
account.
Sir, one thing that I want to clarification from you that at
Mhm.
one time one soul is taking birth on the earth, or multiple souls from your same frequency are taking birth.
It depends, sir. Sometimes some consciousness they are not born, so they multiply themselves into millions of pieces. They are all inside everybody.
Okay.
Some souls are born as a twin souls. Most of the cases, it is only one soul that's born. But when you take to animals, they are born as 7, 8, 10, like 7, 8 dogs. They are in the same soul. They all wait at parts of the soul. It gets split into that. Okay, you read more books, sir. You will start understand because this is little advanced spirituality.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much,
Hear
sir.
from others, you will get some information. But
Yes, sir.
when you have your self experience, then you get clarity.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, Uma Patilji, can unmute and talk.
Good morning, sir. I have listened your so many workshops and your knowledge regarding with the karma, but I have one question. I had visited in December Kartal, and after visited Kartal, I feel that I have to speak not more means was and in family what happened, my joint family is there, and I am myself only doing meditation, and other my husband and mother-in-law and all my family members, they are not doing meditation. So what happened, all of a sudden after Kartal I feel so much that I don't want to speak more, and I don't want to waste my knowledge and all this sharing to counsel to don't do that puja and all this and do meditation and all this. So what is the impact of this? They are, I don't know, but they are thinking that she is somewhat speechless and all this. So I feel somewhat guilt. So what can I means what you just tell me or you just guide me, what can I do?
See, your situation is my past. Exactly in the year 2004 and 5, I was in a joint family. There are 11 people in the house. All of a sudden, I stopped doing pujas. I stopped entering the puja room, and all these threads I have cut in front of them. I put it in the dustbin.
Okay.
Okay. And when somebody dies, I don't cry. So all these things happen to me, but I don't have any guilt feeling because I started living with the truth. They all thought I became Nastika, but suddenly I go to the temple and meditate. They are like confused. This guy, is it Astika or Nastika? But I'm not both. I am a spiritual person. That's it. There are two people in there, good people, bad people, but there is one third category, the spiritual people. Okay. So whatever your inner says, be in mauna silence. That is good because you have realized how much unnecessarily you have spoken all these years, but others don't want you to do because they are interfering. Be however you feel you want and don't feel guilty. Guilty. Every guilt feeling is a fresh blunder. It's a great saying. Okay, every guilt feeling is a fresh blunder. So no guilt feeling. See, listen, whenever there is a session, you're listening everything. Okay, there's answer to Soniji also. Listen everything. And whatever you understand, whatever your inner says, you follow. Simple. You don't need to follow everything what we say here. Okay. Similarly, you do what you want. Don't care about others. When my mom was interfering too much, I said, you can interfere in my physical level, but in spiritual level also, why are you interfering? Please don't interfere. Okay. If they don't like me meditating, they will turn on the light, turn on the light off and on. They will knock the door. They will disturb me. They will try everything possible. But my firmness has resulted in what I am today. So in a joint family, it's a big story. I totally understand. But you are already doing what you feel like. Just continue and don't have guilt feeling. That is very important, Umaji. Okay.
Okay, sir. And basically, I am from Maharashtra, na, sir. So the typical culture is in our houses, typical culture. So that's why I am feeling like that. And all of a sudden, after 20 years marriage, I feel like that. So this is somewhat. But I am doing meditation daily, and your karma that I got really, because I don't want to attract their karma. That's why this may happen. So
Yes.
I got. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your knowledge.
Thank you, ma'am. Continue your journey. All the best. Okay, so we have Ravi ji. Can unmute and talk.
Thank you, Master.
Hello,
It's
hello.
Great. Hello. It's a great today session is very great. I got many answers from all the before questions only. Kids and one Ramtha book also I have studied. So in that law of karma is not there. He told, but his wisdom is like that. Be as a God, express as a God. Behold the God. So in that, whenever you stay as a God, loving yourself and loving the everything, seeing the God in everything, so then that is itself you are expressing the good things. Very good karma will always comes in. So that's why my answer is I got the answer. If we are staying in that state, then the law of attraction, law of karma will not add up. Maybe that is the reason.
You have a very cheerful face. So nice to see you, Ravi.
Thank you, Master.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have Padmaja ji. Surprising, a lot of people are asking questions today.
Yes, I'm in the hospital. Actually, I'm in the hospital, so putting on my mask. Are you able to hear me?
You have put your mask and talk, no issues.
Yes. Thank you. Last Saturday, actually, first I came across your session, and I went into YouTube and watched almost 10 of your videos 10 of your videos in between. And I'm also doing myself command reincarnation for Attack on Sardarian. I'm making Padha in Hindi. And this is so relatable and relevance is so beautiful. You put it in a quite firm voice. I love it. And for state wisdom, what my thought I'm sharing is it correct or wrong? You can guide me. My thought is unless you do not clear your karma, the state wisdom does not come into picture. My thought is that because again, thought, speech, and action only it goes right. So whatever miraculous thought will come unless you don't clear your karma, miraculous thought won't come. So that is what is my understanding. So that part, thank you. I've been following you, and I need to do again a Swadhyaya in Hindi, Karma book only. So at that time, Universe arranged your workshop for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
gratitude from my side.
Thank you, Padmani.
Thank you.
Okay, so nice to see a lot of people attending, a lot of people practicing. Okay, Madhavi ji.
I'm Krishnan, Madhavi's husband.
Yes, sir. Tell me, sir.
I just, overheard when Madhavi was attending your session and I started following up. I could, start relating and change my thinking pattern. And I try to find and I try to observe and follow. And some of your speeches has enlightened me. So I could, change my thinking pattern, in fact.
Very nice.
And today I got two contradicting points. I understand it is not your points, but still I want clarity on them.
Yes.
One, you in your earlier sessions, you said that karma is karma. There is nothing called bad or good. Today there was a contradicting point on that. Second, your karma is yours. It doesn't transfer to others, or your parents' karma is not going to affect. These two were contradicting points, like with our earlier sessions.
Yes. See, your karma is your karma. Okay, it is not your parents' karma. But because of parents' karma, the environment changes in the house. Suppose your dad is hospitalized, your dad is paralyzed. Okay, he is in the bed all the time. My friend's dad was like 15 years, he was paralyzed, he was in the bed. It is not my friend's karma. It is his dad's own karma. Because my friend's dad has that bad karma, he had to face that karma. Taking care of his dad for every day, 3 hours, 4 hours. And he was slowed down because of this dharma. He has to take care of his father. Okay. But nothing of their fathers has transferred to him. But the environment of the house, the dependency, because of that, the entire family suffered. Are you clear in this? Okay, I think I need to again unmute you.
Sorry, to reduce the noise, I unmuted, muted.
So nothing gets transferred. So what is the other point you said which is contradicting?
Good karma and bad karma.
See, for example, what if I tell you there is nothing called soul?
We are not going to realize anything.
Buddha, in his entire lifetime, he was speaking about the soul. But at the end of the moment, when he was vacating his body, he said there is nothing called soul. He went away. For people to understand actions which gives benefits to you, actions which will harm you, we will call it as good and bad karma. Okay, actions that gives you works as a catalyst, actions which works as a obstacle. That is where we use these words good and bad karma. Okay, karma is a karma. To make people understand, we have to speak in the layman language. Buddha has so much knowledge, but he has taken Pali language to make people understand. Certain words we use. Okay, in spirituality there is something called paradox, law of paradox. Okay, we are souls, there is no soul. Okay, there is good and bad karma, there is no karma. In one dimension this is right, another dimension this is right. I'll make you understand this. For example, you take mathematics. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you take mathematics. 1 plus 1 is equal to what?
We have been taught 2.
Yes. In one dimension, where if you take two objects, then it is 2. Okay. But if a husband and wife, 1 plus 1, we are becoming 3. So the same mathematics, when it comes to different places, okay, you take two elements which are same, 1 plus 1, you mix it, it becomes 1. In different dimensions, the same formula is different. Same thing in spirituality, it is multidimensional, as Seth says. So same concept, if you see in different angles and different dimensions, the answers are always different. Initially, you may feel it is contradicting. When Osho was asked one question, sir, in one book you said this, in another book you are saying this, both are contradicting. Which one should we follow? He said, always follow the latest book, because he is also growing. So spirituality is a multidimensional. Okay, it is very hard for me to convince your mind. Okay, and I am not here convincing your mind. Remember, I am not here you convincing your mind, because a mind can never be convinced. I am telling my experience here. There's nothing contradicting for me, at least. If you feel it is a contradictory, keep on your progress, then you will understand my point of view.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Master, one more question, Master.
Yes, madam.
Uh, I was so happy that, by listening to your speech, he got more into meditation and this. Master, we both are chartered accountants in practice, and we are allotted bank audits, and one of my branch got infected. One of the managers is COVID positive, and we are suffering from fever and body ache for last week. And my son has also joined the crew from yesterday. What I'm doing is keeping eye pyramid to reduce the headache, head heaviness, and using pyramid cap for waters. And I have this orgone pyramid, Master. How do I use this to?
You can stand and meditate. That's it.
That's it. I have only one, so every time I have to wash and give it to the other person for them to use. Is it?
You can keep under the pyramid. Any other pyramids you have, you can keep under. But orgone itself is in a pyramid shape. It will cleanse. Whenever it comes to the crystals, it is always advisable. Everybody has their own, like a toothbrush.
Okay.
Pyramid is like a fan. Everybody can use. But when it comes to the crystals, it is like a toothbrush. You wash and give you a toothbrush, something like that. So better the crystals, everybody has their own. That is my experience.
Okay. Okay.
Don't worry. Your entire family will come out quickly. Okay, meditate, have faith.
We are doing a lot of meditation, like
That's all.
attending so much group meditation. Due to this work, we lost all group meditation sessions. So, but since we are taking rest, we also started 3:30 morning, 3:30, right from morning 3:30 meditation sessions across the world, like Malaysia, India, UK, US. All together we are attending meditation sessions.
Very nice.
I'm not I'm not worried, or I'm not feeling anything bad, but I just wanted to energize people at home so that we recover faster.
That's it. You're already doing rightly.
Thank you, Master.
All the best.
I can keep that orgone pyramid somewhere in the room so that
Yes. Everybody can benefit. Yes.
Okay, Master. Thank you so much, Master. Thank you so much.
Thank you both of you. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Vinita ji, unmute and talk.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
हाँ सर, मैंने ना सॉरी काफी लेट इसको स्टार्ट किया था, बट मैं JTTP को काफी टाइम से फॉलो कर रही हूँ, एंड सेफ विजडम भी मैंने फॉलो किया है। अब मैंने जब स्टार्ट किया तो मेरे को लास्ट में आप पेशेंस के ऊपर बात कर रहे थे, तो उसी से रिलेटेड मेरा क्वेश्चन है, पेशेंस से रिलेटेड, कि मैं मेरे 2 बच्चे हैं, and 125 and 121, और मैं स्पिरिचुअलिटी में शुरू से ही हूँ, 10-12 साल से मैं स्पिरिचुअलिटी में हूँ, मेडिटेशन भी कर रही हूँ, बुक्स भी पढ़ती हूँ, और मुझे चीजें समझ में आती है, लेकिन मैं अपने बच्चों को समझा नहीं पा रही हूँ, माय पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू। तो उतना मैं जब चुप हो जाती हूँ तो वो मुझे अंडरस्टैंड नहीं कर पाते हैं। तो उसी के लिए मैं जानना चाह रही थी कि कैसे मैं चीजों को ठीक कर पाऊंगी या नहीं कर पाऊंगी।
So when the same question was asked to my Guruji Patriji once, Okay, so he said,
uh,
after 16 years, throw your children out of the house.
हाँ, वन क्वेश्चन मैं आपको इंटरप्ट कर रही हूँ.
Okay.
जैसा सिंपल सा सिचुएशन है कि मेरी डॉटर जो है वो आई है कॉलेज से छुट्टी लेकर, एंड उनका लव करने का तरीका अलग है. एंड वो जैसे सारा दिन मैंने स्पेंड किया उनके साथ में कि मेरे साथ आप 2-3 दिन स्पेंड करो. मैंने पूरा 2-3 दिन स्पेंड किए, लेकिन कुछ टाइम के लिए मैं शाम को अपना काम कर रही थी और उसने बोला ये काम छोड़ दो. मैंने नहीं छोड़ा. मैंने कहा भाई थोड़ा सा काम है घर का, वो भी इम्पोर्टेंट है, मुझे करने दो, मेरे को टाइम नहीं मिलेगा. एंड आफ्टर 25 मिनट्स मुश्किल से, एंड शी ट्रिगर, तुम तो मुझे प्यार ही नहीं करती, तुम्हारे पास टाइम नहीं है, तुम ऐसा हो वैसा. एंड रात को 3 बजे तक, एंड शी इज शाउटिंग शाउटिंग शाउटिंग. अब मैं नहीं रिस्पॉन्ड करती हूँ तो वो बोलते हैं कि तुम स्टोन हो, तुम तो हार्ट ही नहीं है तुम्हारे अंदर एम्पैथी नहीं है, तुम्हारे अंदर लव नहीं है, तुम्हारे अंदर कॉन्शियस नहीं है, तुमने कभी प्यार नहीं किया है. ये सुन के ना, आज मेरा सेशन जैसे ही स्टार्ट किया तो मुझे लगा कि शायद मेरे क्वेश्चंस के आंसर मुझे खुद मेरे को अपने ऊपर डाउट होने लग गया. क्यों? क्योंकि मुझे ऐसी कोई फीलिंग ही नहीं आ रही कि मैंने कुछ गलत किया. मुझे बिल्कुल भी ऐसी फीलिंग नहीं आ रही कि मैं लव नहीं करती हूँ. बट क्या है कि लव करने का मेरा तरीका अलग है. तरीके अलग हो सकते हैं, सोच अलग हो सकती है, लेकिन दूसरे बंदे को जरा सी भी फीलिंग नहीं हो, ये मुझे थोड़ा सा ना डाइजेस्ट नहीं हो पा रहा है. आई डोंट नो, तो कुछ गाइड कर दो मुझे.
It is all our part and parcel of life. We decided our parents and they decided us, and everything is happening is according to the law of karma. Okay, whatever you wish to do, you do it. Okay, they should not interfere. Okay, love is something where it has to automatically come. I don't know how people demand why you are not loving me. So okay, it is very funny. Okay, why you are not giving money makes sense. Why you are not loving me? How can I make others love me? Okay.
और 3 दिन से यही हो रहा है मुझे. आप
Madam, it is ignorance. They are ignorance. They are acting like that. Okay. Their ignorance, their actions, their words, their thoughts are because of their ignorance. They can come out of it only if they meditate and read books. You cannot do anything. I cannot do anything to change my sister or my parents. Nothing worked.
I know.
I took some 2-3 students. I gave my entire knowledge, everything. They only took what they want, they transform. Okay. It is up to that person. You cannot do anything. You, whatever you are doing, you do. But whatever you are doing, if they interfere, don't.
सर वो इतना ज्यादा हो गया 2-3 से कंटिन्यूअसली कि मेरा अंदर का पीस जो है पूरा डिस्टर्ब हो गया है. वो उसको मैं डिस्टर्ब होने से कैसे रोकूं, मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही.
Gandhi ji has said nobody can disturb you without your permission. You should not take those inside. The outer happenings should not go inside you. कोई ड्रामा करो मैडम, कुछ भी अंदर नहीं जा सकता है. Nothing should go inside. Okay, if you understand life as a drama, natak, you will not allow things to go in. But you are indulging too much into those emotions, so you are taking inside, you are suffering. Whether it is kids or neighbors, family, friends, colleagues, whoever it is. वो सभी एक ही भी अंदर नहीं जा सकता. No, don't allow it inside. ठीक है, today you are dying. So what? Does it matter to you? In another 1 hour you are going to die. Does it all matter to you?
No.
Then what? And do you have any guarantee that you will live tomorrow?
No.
Then what? Live with the truth. Okay, these family dramas will be there in past lives, this life, next life. Always. Don't postpone your practice of meditation. That's it.
नहीं, वो practice तो रोज रहती है सर.
Don't get into too much of emotions. Like a water droplet on the lotus leaf. Be there, be not there. Balance it.
वो इतना
taking it too much inside.
और रोना पिटना सब रहता है ना, तो हम थोड़ा शेक हो जाती है. मैं बच्चे हैं.
Whoever it is, ma'am, whoever it is. My own kid died in 1 week.
Oh.
After it is born, it died in 1 week. I did not keep on sitting and crying. Bacha hai, mera bacha hai. No. For me, everybody is same. When your energy and knowledge increases, you will understand. You will come out of it. Your goal is to increase your energy and knowledge. ठीक है?
हाँ, मैं निकली हुई थी, but मेरे को
That's it.
खींच लिया उसमें.
Yeah, that's a test for you. You have to face it. This is called family karma. Can't help. Face it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. It's so nice. Today's session, there's more than 100 people. And last 2 weeks, I'm seeing house full. And previous week, there were only 20, 30. So nothing is in our hands. I'm just coming here and giving my sessions. I don't care. I just see how many people are there live. I'm very happy. And people are able to take the knowledge. They are listening again and again. And some transformations they are getting. That is my encouragement. And always remember, I am learning with all of you. Preparing for these sessions, when I'm discussing all the points, the questions, I'm learning a lot. Yes, sir. Jungle, sir, I'll take it finally from you. And from then we'll end the session.
Yes, Master, I have a question related to attachment.
Attachment.
We
Yes,
have assumed that the family love, we have discussed a lot of those points.
yeah.
Then in this lifetime, I used to get attached to even the gods. The loving gods, attachment with the masters, great master, all we had, and we had that energy before meditation. I'm talking about that energy. We used to get it. Even when you think of it, that energy comes with those masters, those great spiritual teachers. And what we call it as, we call it an attachment. And you see, there is an emotional part of the attachment also with those spiritual masters.
Yeah.
In the context of the life that we have gone through all these years, and in that context, when I'm meditating, for example, I don't think. I've segregated my gratitude session with them separately, but the meditation which I focus on, observing the breath and no thoughts. That's a great challenge for me to come out from that to this. And it is, but sometimes it also comes. For example, suddenly Guruji appears in the meditation, and I don't know whether it is a thought, whether it is my vision, or whether he comes. We don't even understand that. These are all some of the nuances of understanding the spiritual journey, and therefore the attachment with this earlier the spiritual masters. How do we really? The question is, how do we really separate it? Because we ourselves call we are God, and we have in the past we had all these attachment. Even also carries that lingering is still there in the mind somewhere. We are not able to come out with that. But when you think of the energy, you get it. Think of Raghavendra Swami, you get the energy. Think of Lord Shiva, you get the energy. Think of Anjaneya, you get the energy. And these are all some of the need some clarifications. How do we really address these things in our spiritual journey at the
ECK? Remember this concept. ECK: energy, consciousness, knowledge. Okay.
Energy, consciousness. Next one.
Consciousness and knowledge.
Knowledge.
Okay. Why we do meditation every day? Because we need to increase our energy.
Energy, yes.
It goes down. Again, we must meditate, increase every day. And why we read books and attend sessions? Because of knowledge. And why we have to go do spiritual works, contribute? We have to increase our consciousness. So we are nothing but, everybody has different numbers or levels in these three ECK. All the three has to parallelly increase, not only the energy. Okay, you have high energy, you don't know what to do with it. You have greater knowledge, you don't have energy to do. You have greater knowledge and you have greater energy, but you are only keeping within yourself. In these three dimensions, we have to progress. Okay. So when it comes to the addiction and attachment, okay, attachment is different, addiction is different. Okay, when I am in this body, my soul is attached to this body. How? This is a silver cord. It is attached. The moment it is cut, it is gone. I'll happily go away. But even after it is cut, if my astral body is here wandering, then it is addiction. Okay, you like a particular person, whether in the materialistic world or spiritualistic world, no problem. You can be with them, you can be attached with them, learn as much as possible, have anything, everything possible. It is your wish and their wish. It is between you two people. But when a time comes for separation, if there is any emotions, crying, all the drama, then it's addiction. Okay, there is a disciple with Buddha. He was meditating and suddenly he opened his eyes. Buddha saw him. Both smiled at each other. Exactly, nobody understood why, what is happening there. Then Buddha said the time has come. For what? That Buddha realized that the other person is enlightened. Now his job is to go and teach meditation to everybody. Should not sit with Buddha. But that fellow likes Buddha a lot. So he said, Buddha, okay, I'll go and teach the whole world. But you give me a word. Buddha asked, what is that? Before you have your final breath, it has to happen only in front of me. Buddha said, okay, you go. Okay, because there he was attached to Buddha, but when the time came, Buddha said, leave, he went. There are no emotional dramas there. Okay, attachment is not wrong. Okay, but that attachment should not become an addiction. That is where the problem starts. Okay, so it's my hand, this is my phone, both are attached to each other. If this is removed, if I cry, then it is no problem. If it is removed, take it, gone, no problem. So let the attachment be there until the last breath, no problem. But before that last breath, you vanish everything, you leave your breath, no problem. Okay, because I see some people, they like particular kind of food. They said they left it in Kashi. What? Why did you leave? They take apple and leave it in the Kashi. Every time my uncle has left mango in Kashi. He likes mangoes. He wants to eat mango. But I said, eat it. No, he's left in Kashi. Who asked you to leave? You are killing it, man. Eat it well. Enjoy it well. One day, naturally, it will go. You trouble yourself. Oh, somewhere they drop it. That is your favorite thing you need to drop it. Why? Because you want to give more suffering to you. I never understand that word. So that day I decided in my childhood, I will never go to Kashi. I don't want to leave my favorite fruits there or food there. Okay. So attachment is not wrong. Okay. A lotus leaf and a water droplet, it seems like attached, but it is detached. It floats. Okay.
Let's see. You always say that.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful answers, which is there for some time and now clarified fully. Thank you, Master. Yeah.
Okay, let's take a final leave to everyone. Thank you very much for attending. And we'll again connect next week. And this video I'll upload in the YouTube. I'll share the link with everyone. Share with everyone. The transformation is important. Remember ECK. That's a beautiful answer we got. We must have energy. We must have knowledge. We must keep on increasing our consciousness by doing meditation, by reading books, by sharing our experiences and doing some spiritual services. So that is how we grow multidimensionally. Thank you very much. It's a great opportunity for me. And namaste to everyone. We'll again connect next week. Thank you. Bye-bye. Signing off. Your meditation coach, Ayappa Pindi. Bye-bye.